Welcome back to another video, and in today's video I am going to talking about a student permit. So if you're a foreigner and you'd like to study in Trinidad and Tobago, you will need a study permit. However, if you're from one of the CARICOM countries, remember I talk about the CARICOM countries in my videos. So if you're from one of those CARICOM countries and you want to attend the University of the West Indies, you do not need a study permit to study there once you're in CARICOM. Also bear in mind that University of the West Indies, UWI, as it is known by a lot of persons, it is well known throughout the Caribbean. It is like a brand name university for the Caribbean when it comes on to tertiary institution and the Caribbean. If you want to study in Trinidad and Tobago, you will need to have a study permit. And in order to get a study permit, there are certain steps that you have to follow. And in today's video, I am going to tell you what those steps are. Also bear in mind that in Trinidad and Tobago, there are 4 main universities. And we have the University of the West Indies, also known as UWI. We have COSTAATT, which is the school that I attend. And COSTAATT is College of Science Technology. College of Science. Oh, my bad. Imagine I don't know the name of my school. I normally say COSTAATT. I'll put it in the video here for you. I forget the name of my school. And then the next school, we have USC. USC is University of Southern Caribbean. And we have UTT. UTT is University of Trinidad and Tobago. So those are the 4 main universities that we have in Trinidad and Tobago. There are other universities, but these are the 4 main ones that most people would tend to attend. So if you're overseas and you're coming here and you decided to study, chances are that you have heard of one of these 4 universities. So now that you have made up your mind and you want to study, you enter the country. This is what you have to do in order to study legally in the country. So my previous videos, I was talking about working and working legally. Now we are onto academics. So if you want to study and to do that legally, this is what you have to do. And this is the form with the list of items. I don't know how well you can see it, I'm trying my best. I don't have my study permit with me right now, but if I find it, it is somewhere about the place, I will add it to the video, or I will go on the internet and look for one so you could have an idea of how it is. But if you don't see it in the video, that means I don't find it. Some persons would call it student visa. Here they call it student permit. The first thing you need to do is to fill out the application form, and you need 2 passport size pictures on a white background. Based on the item on this paper, they said that they need information/interview sheet. I don't know what that is because I can't remember seeing that sheet or know of that sheet. I don't know what that is. You need a copy of your passport biodata page and last arrival. So when you enter the country, you need a stamp that they stamp in your passport at immigration, and you also need the bio detail of your passport. And if you were in the country before and you get any form of extension from immigration, you also need that as well. One important thing that you should also bear in mind, that you should walk with the copies and the originals. And please do not be late for your appointment. If you have a student permit before, you should also walk with that one. And this is for returning students. I'm not going to focus on returning students. You also need a copy of your birth certificate. You also need the acceptance letter from your school. So whichever school you plan to attend, you have to ensure that the school is registered with the Ministry of Education. You have to be a full-time student. On the letter, the school needs to indicate that no one has been displaced in order to take you into the program and into the school. Once the nationals are not displaced, you as a foreigner can join the program. You will also need your class timetable. the day and time that your class will be starting and finishing, or the day and time of your classes. If you're working, you need a job letter. If you're employed and you plan to be on study leave, you also need to provide a letter. And if you plan to support yourself in school, you need to also present documents to immigration to show that, okay, you're the one who's going to take care of yourself and you have as much money to do so. Now we're going on to accommodation. So you come in the country and you plan to go to school, you have to live somewhere. So they need proof of accommodation. You need an accommodation letter from your host, and your host can be your sponsor, your landlord, your friend, your family. Your host can be anybody. However, they need a letter from this person. Say for example, you're renting. You need a letter from your landlord. You need a receipt and rental agreement. You need a copy of your landlord ID. Proof of address. And proof of address can come in the form of utility bills. And any utility bill can be used for this. Maybe light bill, water bill. Yes, light bill or water bill can be used. This don't only goes for landlord. Anybody can offer you accommodation. But whoever offer you the accommodation, these are the things that immigration need from those persons. And now, down to evidence of funding. You need a letter from your host or your sponsor. Whoever your sponsor is, your sponsor is supposed to provide an ID and a job letter, and of course bank statement. And the bank statement must be valid for 3 months. If you have paid any school fee, they need proof of payment. Bring in the receipt and show them they have registered for classes and you have payments towards your first semester. So you bring in that receipt and you show it to immigration. You also need a valid return ticket. If you are not a resident, you cannot travel on a one-way ticket. If you don't have a work permit or a CSME, you cannot travel on a one-way ticket. So you need a returning ticket. And most likely as a foreigner, you will get at least 6 months in the country. So when you enter the country, what most people do is they have until 1 year to use their return ticket. So you can go to the airline, well, Caribbean airline, I don't know of any other airline that does this, but you can go to Caribbean airline and you can extend your ticket for 1 year. So when that time comes, you will just pay the difference in the flight. So instead of paying the entire cost, you just pay the difference within the cost of the flight, if you understand what I'm saying. You will also need to do a chest x-ray. Remember in my CSME video where I was talking about indefinite entry, and I need to do a chest x-ray to see how well my heart and my lungs is functioning. Well, this is the same chest x-ray you have to do for the work permit. No, for the study permit, sorry. So basically, these are the information that you need to get a student permit. It is not a lot of documents, but if you are not in a position to provide these documents, chances are that you may not get a student permit or the process might be delayed. So the most important thing here is your proof of funding. All the other documents and information easy to come by. Proof of funding can be challenging to a lot of persons. Sometimes you already know your way out how you're going to do things, but if it don't seem legit to the immigration officer, they are not going to grant you your student permit. That was for new students who are applying for a student permit. What I've come to understand that student permit used to be granted for every year or for the duration of your course. What immigration have done is that they started to give student permit every semester. And I think the reason for this is that some persons have a student permit and they don't go to school. What they have done now is to grant you a student permit for every semester. If you get one for 1 year, you're very fortunate. At one point I was saying this don't make every sense. Why come here every semester for a student permit? But this is what I've known. Maybe things have changed now, I don't know. Recently someone went to immigration and they told me that they got a student permit for 1 year. Also, recently, someone else went to immigration and they got their student permit for 6 months. So I don't know, not 6 months, for 1 semester. If you are a returning student and you're applying for a study permit or student permit, some of the documents that you need as a new student applying for the study permit, you will also need these documents as a returning student applying for a study permit. So you will need to fill out the application form. You will need your passport size pictures. You will need the bio detail of your passport, your birth certificate, and ensure that the grades on your transcript is not too bad. So these are the documents that you will need if you'd like to study here in Trinidad and Tobago. There are 4 main universities. Bear in mind that there are other universities, there are other schools. Do your homework, ensure that the school is approved by the Ministry of Education and they are accredited. If the school is not accredited, immigration will not give you a study permit. That's it for this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. And thanks for watching.